Okay, so we're back to do the class. Welcome to Stampin' on the Hill. Um, Reach out to me if I don't know you. I would love to hear from you. And if I do know you, thank you for joining me. All right, so I'm just going to jump right in so that we're not wasting too much time with frivolous activities. But I want you to know before we start that the instruction sheet for this has like three different pictures on it. One of them is the actual cutting map, if you will. All right, so don't worry and have to try to take notes. If you bought the class, you'll get the sheet that's got the map in it. So, all right, let's jump down and let me show you quick. I know I showed this once before, but these are the 6x6 pieces. You will have gotten two each of these. All right, so one this way, and this one, and this one, and this one. All right, so those are, there's 6 of them, but you will have gotten two each, okay? And then there's also the 3 sheets of die cut greetings that you will have gotten. And you will also have gotten a pack of these array of dots. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is cut our 6x6. And I've cut some already, so I just wanted to do this with you so that you could see what I'm doing. Let's see if I can move this down just a bit. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is figure out if you have a directional DSP, it might matter to you which way this is. Okay, so what we're going to do is cut off the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to look at it, and I want this. I'm going to use the yellow side, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going to cut 2 inches off of the bottom. That's where we're starting. All right. Then we're going to set this 2-inch piece aside, and we're going to give our the rest of it a 1/4 of a turn clockwise. All right, and we're going to cut this at 3 inches, which will then leave 3 inches. Okay, we're going to, let's see here, what are we doing next? We're going to cut this first piece right here. This is going to be for card number 1. So we're going to cut it to, this is 4 inches this way. We're going to cut it to 1.5. We're going to go 1.5 this way. You're going to want to keep these pieces in order. Okay. So 1.5 this way. And then we're going set this one aside. Keep this one here, okay, and keep it. You need to know which is the top and which is the bottom. So I'm going to, this is my top here, and I'm going to cut this at 1.5 inches at the top. And then I'm going to leave it together like this, okay? And then on this one, I'm going to cut, this is the top, I'm going to cut 1.5 inches off the bottom. I hope that makes sense to you. There is also a visual in the instructions. Okay, so this is going to stay like this. This is for card 1, and I'm going to move it off to the side here a minute and keep them in order. All right, then with this piece, we're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to cut with whatever at the top. We're going to cut this at 1.5. So this is a whole bunch of 1.5s, right? It seems easy enough. So it's cut in half. And then we're going to cut the top off of 1.5. And we're going to put this on this side. And then we're going to cut the bottom off of this 1.5. So that's going to go like this. So that when you put it back together, it appears to be the same. Okay, that's why we're keeping it together. All right, so then with the leftover piece here, the 2x6, we're going to cut 1 inch off of the bottom. I usually cut my 1 inch from the other direction off of this side of the gutter, but that's okay. All right, so this is gonna make it be 2 by 5, all right? And then 1 inch off the bottom. Now we have that, and then we're gonna do a 1/4 of a turn, and we're gonna cut this at 1 inch again. So now we're gonna have 2 1 by 5 inch pieces, and this is gonna be for card 3. So card 1, card 2, card 3, all right? And let's move this out of the way. So for my card 1, and I've got multiples, okay? So you're gonna get 2 pieces of the Daffodil Delight with 2 pieces of the Lost Lagoon. I'm using different, let's put these together and leave them this way off to the side because I already have cut these for the project today. And when I did mine originally, I layered the 2 pieces of 6 by 6 together and I cut 2 at a time. But so we're going to adhere. This is going to be really easy, which I know some of you will really like, that it's really easy. All right, so I'm going to make my card bases and set them aside a minute. Let's see here. All right, those are my 2 card bases. So these are both card 1, okay? So we're going to take and put this and this together, and so I'm going to adhere this to the mat, all right? So I've got like a 1.5 by 1.5, and of course my glue doesn't want to work today. And I'm going to just eyeball this up, but I'm going to kind of leave a decent amount of space in between them so that it kind of leaves a border that's the same on the 2 sides, corners, I guess is the better way to put it. And this one goes this way. And then this one is here. I think for the sake of time, I'm just going to do like 1 of the first card, and then we'll move on to the second card so that hopefully we will have time to do. I'm just making sure that the bottom lines up evenly. All right. So then what we're going to do is take this and adhere it to the front of the card here. You can add whatever kind of things you would like, but I have chosen to just keep it simple. And let's see, what are we going to put in here? How about a big thinking of you? So we'll just pop this out. We're going to use some dimensionals, although I'm probably going to have to cut some out because it looks like, no, oh, there's one more in here. I don't use a lot of dimensionals. I know some people like cover their whole project practically because they don't want it to punch down while they're in the mail or something, but I kind of prefer, let's just put this here. I kind of prefer, I don't know. I like to, this looks crooked. I feel like I like to be efficient, but I don't like to waste the materials. So I'm going to cut this apart a little bit here. Can you even see what I'm doing? And this to me means that there's little waste. So, all right, we'll use those. So then there's that, and then what we'll do is take some of our array of dots and then pick out the colors you like. I'm going to pull in my take your pick tool here, and we're just going to add a few of these on here. I don't know what colors I'm liking. I think I'm liking the pink right now, which would be Flirty Flamingo. It looks like, so there's 3 different sizes in here. I'm just going to use 2 probably, but I'll use the big one. I think I need to put one there, and then maybe just the little one. Put it up here. That'll be good for that one. All right. So then the rest of these, this one's going to go like this, same kind of thing on here. Okay. So that's card 1. And then the second card is going to be the same, but with different colors. So in this particular one, I have given you basic white as card bases. So let's get that together. And then the layer that I've included for you is actually Secret C. I lost my bone folder. It's because you put it back where it belongs. Yep. All right, so then we're going to go with this. That was wrong. This goes this way. All right, so I'm going to put this one aside to do later because we kind of already saw one using that particular DSP. So let's try one with this DSP. And again, we're just going to do the same. I'm looking to see. I think it went this way. Yep. So I'm trying to keep the colors together the way they originated from the DSP before I cut them apart. You could definitely use the back side of this and do like a just a total black and white card as well. But this is how I'm choosing to go about. All right, so one more on here, and then we have to pick a greeting. What do you think this one should say? How about happy birthday or something? So although these are really simple, I think they end up being kind of cute. What does this birthday one say? There's got to be another birthday in here, right? Best wishes, happy holidays, thank you, happy Father's Day, sending hugs. That one's cute. Happy Mother's Day. Ooh, no, I don't think I want the black on there because this is such a dark background already. So, how about just best wishes? How about that? We'll go with that. Oh, there is a happy birthday in here. Maybe let's do that one instead. I like happy birthdays. Everybody needs happy birthdays, right? So that's cute. All right, let's add some more dimensionals. And this one ends up being too big. I'm going to cut it down just a little bit more again. Probably could have just used the smaller little bit. We'll stick this on this corner. If you can get it off your fingers. Oh, yeah. Some days are really a lot harder than others for me. All right, so this one we're going to put down here. Make sure it's straight. A little tip that these dimensionals are actually repositionable until you start smacking them down some more. Let's use some blue on this one. These are Pretty Peacock, which you all know is my favorite color right now, but I think these blue ones are kind of cool. So let's do this. Let's do one of these and one of these. Whoops. All right, let's try this something else here. It flipped right over. There it goes. There. So simple but cute. You know what else would be really cute? Although, and I might do this with some of the other ones just to give you an idea. When I go back and do the rest, it'd also be cool to put some baker's twine maybe behind here or some linen thread or something. So, but I'm pretty much just teaching you the basics. So, then there's this one. So card number 3 will have, let's do this and this. So card number 3 is going to have this piece of white included, and I will have it pre-embossed for you. If you bought the class, I will pre-emboss this white piece for you. But for now, let's move and get this part done. And then what we're doing with this is we're going to put this in the middle. Flip this way. You know, it never like goes just perfectly even. So I like to make sure that when I'm opening the card, the longer, if there's a longer piece, the longer one's on the top. That's just me. All right, so this is going to go in the center like this, and then these two are going to go on either side. So we'll just glue this one down. Like I said, this is a really simple one-sheet wonder. But think of all the things you can do with this by using, you know, different DSPs. You can use the backs of this DSP. You could mix and match. Again, I'm kind of eyeballing these borders here to see how close to the center I really want them. Alrighty. That looks okay. And then wanted to just show you, oh, we got to put a greeting on here first. Let's do the best wishes one on here. Yep, I like it. And best wishes can be like for anything, right? Let's put 2 on just so it doesn't go wonky on the, you know, tilty on the paper. If you put like just one in the middle, then I feel like it can move everywhere. But so I usually do at least 2. I do 3 on round things usually. Best wishes. And then we need some dots. What do you think about yellow dots this time? Actually, let's do the darker ones. These are kind of cool. All right. Let's do let's do one there and one here. All right, so these are our 3 cards, and I wanted to show you that this is the scrap that I got. So one piece of scrap per 6x6 sheet, and that's the only scrap that there is. So it really efficiently uses your 6x6. All right, so where are we in time here? How much time do I have going? Doesn't say. All right, well, I'm going to clean this mess up and get ready to show you the fun fold. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. I've got 2 sets of these. The white is 2.5 by 4, and the black pieces are 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. All right, so just a 1/4 inch bigger of those. I did bring back in a little black from our ephemera pack, so we're going to use that. I have a piece of, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so that's your standard card base, but this is just one single piece. So this is going to end up being the base, but the DSP is going to end up being our card. So first thing we're going to do is figure out which way we want this to go. And it's going to end up going like this and then folding in this way. Okay, so if you get the idea. So we have to cut some off the bottom. And so you will want to make sure that, I think I want, maybe I'm going to cut it off the top because I think I like this darker. And then yeah, I think I do. So let's do that. So we're going to cut our top off. So we want it to be 6 inches wide by 5 1/4. So we're just going to cut that little bit off the top. And then we're going to turn it this, actually, I'm going to do mine upside down and inside out, I guess. So I'm going to turn mine this way and score this at 2. So then mine's going to fold like this. So 2 inches here, and we're going to score, double checking, 2 inches. So now this will fold like this. You could have done this the opposite way, and if you prefer, you still can. Put this way instead. All right. That one's kind of cool, actually. Now I'm second guessing, but I'm going to leave it like this. All right. I'm going to leave it like that. And then, yep, I'm really second guessing. So that's all for that. So what we're going to do is adhere this down, and then we're going to do some stamping. You know what? Let's set that aside and do the stamping first while I'm thinking about which way to put that. Oh, I forgot about this. So the rest of this, let's cut these into 2 1/2 inch pieces. 2 1/2 and 2 1/2. Because then those will go at the bottom of, and then we have one little piece of scrap left from this one. Remember, we're maximizing our DSP here. That's the whole name of the game with the one sheet wonder, is to maximize the DSP so there's not so much scrap left over. All right, knowing that I'm going to put this or this down here, I'm going to stamp this a little bit farther up, and then I'm going to take just a few minutes and bringing back in the Lily of the Valley. And oops, while I have the ink out, let's do the inside too. So the inside is going to just have a little greeting on here that says, I was going to put to one of the nicest people I know, but seeing as I picked thinking of you, I think that was supposed to be a happy birthday. And I think I'm out of, let's do, instead of that, let's do a thank you, I guess. No, best wishes. That's okay. We'll do it this way. All right. I forgot about the inside when I was picking out my outside sentiment. So I'm going to put this a little bit higher so that I have some room to write. And then we're going to adhere these together. Well, this one at least. To here. A little off. There we go. All right. And then this will get adhered to this, but I want to do a little bit of coloring on here. So I'm going to bring in the Flirty Flamingo, which matches our bottom. And I think I'm going to need a little bit of scratch paper here. I know you've probably seen me use this piece before. And I'm just going to put a little bit of dots at the bottom of these. I'm not really coloring them in. You certainly may, but I'm just using a little bit at the bottom. This one got a little dark, so let's see if we can spread this around a little bit. All right, good enough. And then I just needed this scratch paper to clean my blend. It's not a blending brush. This is a blender pen. Those come 3 in a pack, by the way, and they are both, they have 2 sides, so 2 tips. And once you clean it off like this, you can just go right directly to your next color. I'm just going to do a little bit of shading in here. You don't want, when you're working with any kind of liquid on basic white paper, you don't want to keep going over and over the same place with your pen, because it will tend to overwater, if you will. I think I just made that up, but it will oversaturate the paper so that it will then start to fray and rip, and you don't want that. So I think that's going to be good enough. All right. So this was Granny Apple Green. We're done with that. And this is our, not sure I want that on there. Maybe I'll use this side. Let's pick out which ones we like, actually. I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to put that on here, on the bottom. Whoops. And then I'm going to put one on the bottom of here as well. You know, me, I don't like to write a lot. So the more space, the smaller this space can be, and the more space I take up with actual stamped sentiments, the better off I feel like I am. All right, so this is going to go like this. So now that I can see it like this, do I really want this side, or do I want this side? Kind of feel like I might want that side. I think I do. So see, it's a good thing I didn't glue it together yet. So we're going to go with this side, and we will glue on here. And then this will be centered on our card base. Then this one, the inside one, here's a tip. Put the inside one in first. And we're gonna, I'm centering it in this whole space right here. Yeah. All right. And then we're gonna layer this onto our other piece of black mat. Get that out of the way. And it twisted. That's okay. So now this, when we glue this on, we want to make it exactly on top of that piece, okay? So by doing this, I'm going to flip this way around. I'm going to line it up, and then I'm going to know that I only can glue up to this edge right here, okay? I hope that makes sense. Otherwise, we will close the card, glue the card shut. We don't want that. So again, we're matching up these corners so that it looks like just this until you open it up, and then there's another piece on the inside. And then the best wishes, I think we're just gonna give it Let's get some, bring out some more of these. I don't think I cut any more up. Bring out a couple of these minis. These are mini dimensionals, but we only need a little bit, so it's all good. All right. And let's see, I'm going to put it part on and part off. There. I kind of like it. It's so cute. All right, so that's that one. Let me, before I bounce back away, let me show you what else I did in the interim here. So this is the fun fold card, but with the rest of the part of the class, the One Sheet Wonder class, these are the 3 that we made in the class, if you'll remember. And then I also went back and made, because I had 2 sheets cut, because you're going to make 6 cards. So with the rest of the supplies, I then also did this. But remember, I mentioned in the class that you can add some extra stuff in here for yourself. So this one I added the Secret Sea ribbon. This one I added a little bit of white baker's twine, and I still put some of the gems on a couple of these. But then the one that I actually showed you the cutting instructions, that yellow honeycomb paper, I thought, well, I might as well do those too. So these were the colors that I had originally picked out. So this was just simple. Daffodil Delight, and I didn't even put any more gems on this. I thought it was pretty simple just that way. And then these, of course, is the Flirty Flamingo color in the background. And then this one I ended up using the opposite side. So the back side of the honeycomb, it looks like this, and then that's that white strip. So anyway, I thought I would show you those. Lots and lots of options here, right? But here is our fun fold. Okay. So let's see here, go back to me. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me, and thank you for purchasing the class if you did. And if you didn't, that's okay. Go ahead and watch it and follow along anyway. And maybe we'll see you again in the future. Thanks for watching.